First of all, thank you for coming to TAQATALK. TAQATALK is a platform. TAQA is a once a month we have a platform. We invite Lebanese personalities والشخصية اللبنانية مع حدا صار له سنين عايش بلبنان ليحكي عن adventure sports, healthy living or healthy food. So today is our fifth TAQATALK وعزمنا جاد غوسن and Tanguy, Windsurfer and kitesurfer يحكونا شوية عن landscape or the Lebanese waters and Ajak that are almost all privatized, but a little bit about what it is like to do wind water sports in Lebanon. So I'm going to give the floor to these fine-looking men, and we're going to start asking them a little bit. So let's start with Jad a bit. You're the windsurfer. You're going to be taking the speech of windsurfers for today's talk. We all know that you're a bit of the everybody knows of you in the community. And how is it that did you advance to this skill or this mastery in Lebanon, or did you have to gain more experience in different countries or different waters to reach that level?
I mean, I think I reached a pretty good level from my windsurfing in Lebanon. Recently, when I started working and I could afford to travel a little bit more, I started traveling. But no, I gained I was a good windsurfer at the time before I had gone anywhere else in the world. So, no, I gained it mainly here.
Mainly in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to be speaking a bit about the wind and the waves in Lebanon. Tanguy, be my wonderful guest. Take the floor. Who are you and why kite surfing?
Well, let's start by windsurfing, because the story actually starts by windsurfing. My uncle was a Uncle. Thank you very much. Mon oncle. My uncle was a windsurfer freak when I was a kid, and I was like literally like this when I was watching him. But that was at the time when he probably started. I mean, I was like I was about 14, 15, and he was a rough guy, you know. So I'm like, okay, let's get into it, but you know, we don't have the same body, you know. That and I. It also reflects on the kid. At 14, I'm sure he was like, and I was like, you were like skinny like this also. Yeah. So anyway, I'm like, okay, let's try. So I started to windsurfing and stuff, but I could never reach that level where you could go for it. Okay, just to play on the metaphor that we said earlier. Windsurfers are like the rugby player, and kitesurfers are more like the golf player or the volleyball player. So. And you need this roughness and you need to like it. So at the time I did it, I became pretty good. I even became like an instructor. I mean, not an instructor, but I was giving course to the kids, you know, with small sails and stuff. So I got really into the technical part of learning windsurfing. And I enjoyed it, but I could never get to the level of going into waves or going full speed and doing tricks and freestyles and stuff. Especially at the time, the gear didn't help at all. And you couldn't do it. You could go. I mean, just with the harness took me like years to be able to just get the balance right, because like when you follow windsurfing full speed, at the time it was. So you know, I did it for like some times, but I could never get into it fully because it was too rough. Point la ligne. For me, it was just a rough sport. I enjoyed roughness, but not that much to get to a level of being like a good competitor.
God.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a god.
An angel.
Yeah, a one god, you know.
I reached an angel.
Maybe
that's a cool thing. Actually, I'm more of a water angel, and he's gonna do the god. I don't mind, you know. I'm just like whatever. So actually, water angel is pretty cool because kitesurfing is more about. So whenever kitesurfing appeared, it was in 1997. I was in Lebanon for 4 years, 3 years, and I was watching this on TV, and it was the first kite ever. It was like the Replica 2 lines. It was very rough. They got this from Hawaii. It was completely crazy. And I'm like, and I was watching the guy, and they were actually jumping and going fast and on the wave, and I'm like. And I was wakeboarding at the time a lot, so I was like, okay, that's what I want to do, you know. So I started like learning, and I started in the same place I started.
So you started kitesurfing in Lebanon?
No, I went to France. To the same spot as I learned windsurfing, which is Le Cat en France, which is one of the Mecca of the wind in France. Yeah. So I went there, and I started there, and for probably 3.5 years, I just couldn't go upwind. I was just I just couldn't, like the equipment wasn't really well made at the time, and I just couldn't go up. And all the guys I was doing were old windsurfers, extremely rough guys who wanted to experience something else. And I was trying to do the same, but I just couldn't hold it. The kite were like completely crazy at the time. So for like a few years, I went between surfing and trying to kite, and I had like a few accidents at the time because of the gear. And then in 2004, I think, the technology just went like this. And I was in Mauritius actually, and they got this 5-line gear that still exists today. And it was so easy then, because I had like so much theory that it became so easy to me. And this is when I started a bit of competition around the world. And in Lebanon, we were three guys, and you know, we started doing it right and left, like learning the spots, and then it became a place where actually I found out that Lebanon can be a world-class place, because you know, we have everything. We have the wave, we have the wind, and we can kite anywhere, and we have like so many days. So this is how, you know, it all started. But a lot of traveling, a lot of traveling.
I see the kite surfers from the bakery. There's a bakery in Tripoli, so I see you guys very close to me. So
Exactly. This is our spot.
yeah, so we're going to speak about the spot. And I'm curious, Jad, did you ever try kite surfing?
I actually did. I
You
did
did?
try kite surfing a few times, 2 times actually. And yeah, I mean, it's a lovely sport. I love it, but given, I mean,
It's
the
a
windsurfers.
lovely-
When a windsurfer says lovely, I don't know if I should take it as a compliment or like.
No, come on. I mean, it's a really cool sport.
It's a lovely sport.
And if I was living, no, really, it's an amazing sport. It's amazing.
It's a
to
sport
watch.
that
It's,
combines.
Sensation.
Yeah, and if I was living in a
Surfing,
country
wakeboarding.
where you have 300 days of wind a year, I would be definitely kite surfing maybe half of this time.
Exactly.
But when you live in a country, especially windsurfing requires more wind than windsurfing. The type of windsurfing that I do, the wave windsurfing, freestyle windsurfing, you need more wind. So actually, the few days that I have here, I want to practice windsurfing. So I wait so much for that day with good wind. I'm not gonna like stop and start learning something else in this day. I want to progress even more. So yeah, but I'm sure one day I will also learn how to kite surf. And I will
Let him get older a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, like having a lot more injuries and like
You
and
don't
windsurfing is going to be like
transition
too rough.
into kite surfing.
Yeah, I actually love. I mean, I love doing multiple sports as much as I can, because I think the more you do, the more you enjoy life in general, and the more you get better in all the sports. So that's my philosophy.
And it's true, if the wind are very, very, very strong, like they're very rough winds,
Yes.
there's maybe like just 2 or 3 kiters on the water because it's too rough. You get all the windsurfers. That's when they enjoy themselves, you know. And when the wind drops down a little bit, we get our bigger kite. We don't care because we have big kites, and then we enjoy and they sit on the beach and they're like.
I think it would be, I know that kite surfing requires less wind than windsurfing.
No,
But you-
it's the same.
It depends on the category.
We can kite
So
with
let's go
slow
a little
wind.
bit more technical. I think let's get a little, because I heard you saying that the kind of windsurfing I do, so I'm assuming that there's many types of different windsurfing. Maybe Moni would like to tell us what he does. But also, Tom.
He does the same.
I can
Yes,
He's the same.
Because only
we can
Tanguy
have
and Jad.
input from the crowd, but I
Yeah.
think maybe let's get a bit more into the technical details. What kind of windsurfing techniques or levels can we do in Lebanon? And also when it comes to kite surfing, because then you tell me big kite, small kite, is this wind or is this based on how much expertise do you have? So, Tanguy, do you want to start and then?
Windsurf, even you can go on a big board, the beginners. You can windsurf on very light wind, even like basically no wind. You can create your own wind.
Yeah.
Because the board will actually,
On the windsurf,
Windsurf.
on the windsurf.
you can create your
Yes.
own wind.
Yeah, basically if there's no wind, you can get a big sail and
Okay.
pump it and then move.
But if you want to have fun, you can have fun with low wind on the kite surf, but you cannot have fun on the
No
windsurf.
wind with windsurf.
Or at least we don't have
No.
fun. I mean,
Like as soon as you have a level, let's say intermediate to advanced kite surfers, okay, can go and have fun into light wind like 15 to 20 knots. Okay, we get a big kite and we can start jumping because we get bigger sail and we can start to having fun like to a good level. A windsurfer will just be kasdura, you know, like going and coming back even with a big sail, and usually he's not gonna enjoy it that much because the wind is not there, you know.
It depends on the person. Like that's the thing. Like some, yeah. I mean, me, that's true. Because I'm
talking about level. I'm talking about someone who has a level.
No, but actually you can windsurf and enjoy it very much just by going full speed with the same amount of wind with a bigger sail.
So we need sail and Simon, go for it.
So you need to talk more about the bulkiness of the windsurfing equipment and
Also.
the cost.
Also,
Because when you want to windsurf with very light wind, you really need different equipment, bulky, big, and costly.
true.
Whereas in kite surfing, it's almost the same.
traveling.
They're not bulky. You
traveling
can put
with
them
a
in the backpack.
So you're talking when it corresponds to equipment. What is more practical to do as
I mean,
a
for
sport?
windsurfing to move from light wind to high wind,
You need bigger.
you need
sails,
much bigger equipment, and they're very bulky and more expensive. For kite surfing,
You can't do that.
yeah, they change the sail and they all fit in one, from
bag.
light wind to strong wind.
Okay.
This is another factor, besides the fact that maybe we would have fun windsurfing in very light wind, It's also fun, but we would need to go to like having 3 cars,
Hiba, you were just saying what like when you want to
It's like buying a truck, a car.
Yeah, but
and
in
a pickup.
Germany it's flat water.
In Germany and Switzerland, I have a friend there, and he's attending the site that I gave it to you last time. Freestyle in light wind.
Windsurfing?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that, but like again, and to go back to what I was saying, as soon as you have like a level and you want to have fun, not doing technical things, just trying to make it, but just to have fun. The advantage on a kite surf, I mean, it happens so many times in Batroons or in Tripoli, when you see the guys are here with the waves, whatever, they need some wind to actually enjoy themselves, even on the waves.
To go for speed, yes.
No, not speed, even jumping. If you want to jump and if you want to have fun, if you want to feel if you want to progress, let's say.
Yes.
We can progress into light wind with a bigger sail and we will get to a very good level also. No matter
Anyways,
what.
maybe I'll tell you like the different,
you need
different
schools.
categories of windsurfing, like
Yes.
how you start. I mean, you have the main 3 if you want. There are 4 categories, but you have the slalom or the race. You can put with it the free ride, they call it. It's not like the free ride in snowboarding. It's basically just cruising and going fast and going far if you want. This is the kind of slalom. So it's race. It's about getting speed, and then you have usually a bit bigger volume boards, bigger sails, and then you can go very fast. And if you want to call it a kazura, like when you're reaching 55, 60 kilometers per hour,
that's when the wind gets like.
No. Even with very little wind. I mean, I was like 2 weeks ago was with one of these gears that is like really for slalom and really light wind. The wind was really, I mean, 2.5, bigger board, bigger sail, and I was going 45 to 50 kilometers per hour with literally maybe 12 kilometers per hour wind. So you go actually much faster than the speed of the wind because you're just getting the power from the wind, and then you're
Having waves as a kite surfer and having waves as a windsurfer, is it the same for both of you? Do you regard waves the same way? Do you guys need more height? Do you need more faster waves? How is it different when it comes to jumps?
Interesting question.
When you're with the windsurfing, you're like just one with the gear. Like you're attached to the sail, like straight here with you. The board is there, and you're like going all with it. And when you rotate, you're rotating with the whole equipment like together. Like it's like it requires a lot of timing and precision, and it's I don't know. It's really difficult. It's not easy to, especially when you're doing rotations and stuff, because it's all about great timing. You can't stay like, oh, I'm gonna like give it a little bit of lift, because the kite you can just hang a little bit more and get your like millisecond that you need to land properly. But in the windsurfing, you don't have that millisecond that you could help actually land properly the move, So it's really about extreme precision, and it requires so much training and time to actually get these moves. And in windsurfing, and I guess also in kitesurfing, the beauty about these 2 sports is that you never finish the book. You never catch up with the moves that are being created. It's some other sports like you have a lot doing most of them, but in the windsurfing you have. Actually, there's a trictionary for windsurfing. Yes. It's bigger than a dictionary. Yes. It's that big. It's called the trictionary. And I mean, there's I don't know if there's any windsurfer that can do all the moves in the wave. It's
Are you somebody that will work constantly, patiently to master different tricks and different jumps on the windsurf, or you're a little bit like, I know my set, I enjoy those, and I don't push myself to learn new tricks and new jumps?
I'll ask more.
To reach a level in kitesurf, you need a lot of theory and technicality at the beginning. But once you get that,
Then you're
the evolution is so fast. It's a little bit. Windsurfing is like surfing, if you want. I've been surfing for 25 years, and I still cannot master a tube, you know, which is insane. I could maybe do tubes in kitesurfing if I really wanted to. Why? Well, because you know I got a kite. If I got a problem, I just push. I get up and I try it on the next wave, and I can do this 50 times a day.
Your kite is your major. I mean, for those people who know water sports, planing is like when you're like say going maximum before, like there's a point where you learn, and you're going maximum say at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour, 16 kilometers per hour, and when you do this planing, like you put your feet on the straps and you got the wind,
and the balance
you just
is your
you just like jump quickly from that speed of like 12, 15 kilometers per hour to like 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers per hour, and that feeling is like this rush, like you're going like, and then this. You start like gliding on the water. This feeling you'll never forget.
It's not describing the feeling very well, but it's okay.
Each one has its own describes.
Planing is not just a question of speed. Planing is exactly like an airplane.
Yeah,
it's the same
and you don't
principle.
stop also.
It's lift off. There is a point in windsurfing where you feel that
I got that actually in Greece.
you lift off,
Because
and then you're
windsurfing.
just flying with very little friction with the water and very little effort, and you're just cruising.
Yeah,
This is the
And
beginning.
in fact, it's the same principle than the wing of the airplane, because the sail has the same shape.
Boost
It's
the
exactly the same principle.
True.
Same thing in kitesurfing.
No, in kitesurfing
No?
we don't have that.
You don't have that.
No.
So, anyway,
We don't need that.
So the plane, same thing when you're on the runway and you have all the engines going really strong, and then suddenly the plane lifts off, and then you don't
And
need.
you're gliding. Right?
Yeah, you're gliding.
And you have a
Exactly.
big board. Let's
Okay,
not
so
forget the
In
difference
windsurfing,
between
it's the same.
windsurfing
This
and
transition, many windsurfers never reach the planing. So it's like the adrenaline is totally different.
Exactly.
And I haven't
Once you
known
reach
anyone
the-
reach it and stop it. For some people
True.
progressing into slalom race windsurfing, that's the progress. I mean,
That's the adrenaline.
it's
That's
like
the rush.
bicycle. When you go into like racing bicycles, you know, like it's
Or mountain
it's the
biking.
same
bike,
thing.
yeah.
Or mountain biking, you
Mountain
know,
biking
or
is rough.
freestyle. So
True.
it's the same. I mean, it requires a lot of physical still to do the race, and there is a rush about it, trying to make the minimum go the most upwind. It becomes like technical and stuff. And there's the other categories that goes into freestyle.
And the jumping.
And then the freestyle actually you
So
do it
Maya is
on
focusing too
flat
much on
water.
jumping.
No, but if you want to look seriously,
Windsurfing,
Bonnie,
the
seriously, if
jumping
you want to
part-
look good, if you want to look good windsurfing, you need years. You want to,
Yeah,
you want to
but-
look good kitesurfing, you need months.
What would you recommend for people and newbies on the water that have a curiosity for water sports to start doing, or where to start?
With
Well,
windsurfing.
With windsurfing and or kitesurfing.
I'll
Yeah.
start with windsurfing.
Since it's more accessible.
Yeah. So basically now there's a school actually of windsurfing. There's actually more than one person that teaches how to windsurf. My recommendation for the ones that wants to start to go to one of the schools. We have Colonel Reef. There is Hiba Windsurfing Kids Lebanon. There is Batroun Water Sports. Mainly they're in Batroun, Chika, and there's
Pierre and Friends.
Pierre and Friends, and there's a White Beach. So all around Batroun. So go around Batroun, choose one of these schools, and take a couple of lessons.
Okay.
And they're really, I mean, the prices in Lebanon to buy the gear or to learn how to windsurf is much cheaper than anywhere else in the world. Okay, so you take your couple of lessons just to get to know the wind, the basics of windsurfing, and then if you have the means, go and travel to Egypt, to Dahat, to one of these, to Greece in the right season, and actually take 6 days, and then you can actually learn how to really. If you do this, say you take 5 to 10 lessons in Batroun, you go and you take 6 straight days, I assure you, you're gonna go into this planing not in a year, after these 2 things only.
Jad, I wanted to ask you, what would you recommend as spots for windsurfing other than Batroun on the coastal line of Lebanon for windsurfing? So it's not just...
For people who know how to windsurf already and are advanced, we have, the best spot in Lebanon is the Colonel Beach. Actually, it's actually the Colonel Beer and the Colonel Reef School. It's the name comes from that spot. So it's the only really good wave spot in Lebanon to windsurf. We have June, July, August, we have lots of wind, and during the winter times we get really good waves.
Great storm.
And you have also Tripoli, Canaria. It's another wave spot. Unfortunately the water is really polluted and you come back with itches and stuff, but it's a really good spot and super, super windy. You have the freestyle spot. Freestyle is one category I didn't speak of much of windsurfing. It's what you do on really flat water, but you do like lots of tricks. And this is the most technical type of windsurfing.
And this is where?
It's in Ras Sha'a. This is the best spot in Lebanon. Ras Sha'a is right after the tunnel of Sha'a. And this is a spot that cannot be kitesurfed because the wind is very gusty and very strong. I mean, you would die. And then you have also Jbel, you have also Jbel, Jie. Like you can basically windsurf all over the coast. But the best spots is basically Batroun, Sha'a, Tripoli. Those are the top spots. When it's north wind, then you can go south. Actually, I had a couple of really good windsurfing in Jie when it's north wind and the right conditions.
True.
And Tanguy, for you, what are the best spots
Same,
for kitesurfing?
more or less same, except that we're lucky to have a very cool spot in Tripoli, which is North Marina over there, and it's very accessible. I mean, we just park the car right on the beach. We just take our stuff, and the windsurfers actually know that. Oh, they come with us sometimes, and it's very easy access. And we have, like, when the north wind picks up, we can go down to Jie at La Guava. And La Guava made us a deal, so it's very good, and I can say officially it's 50% off, so we only pay 20,000 to get in, and we have beautiful gazon, and we have the beach, and this is actually the spot to learn kite surfing if you want to have fun. No, I'm not saying learning kite surfing in Lebanon, no. I would be against it. You want to do it for fun, you want to get the basics, you want to enjoy yourself and feel it, okay, but if you really want to learn how to kite surf, go to El Gouna, go to Dahab, go to Greece, go to Cyprus, go to a spots where you can, be in the water all the way up to your knees for like kilometers and learn in about 3-4 hours. Literally, that's all you need. You need 4 hours, 2 days of wind, and you get this in El Gouna.
And then you can come back to Lebanon.
And then you can come back to Lebanon, and your level will just go like from zero, literally, from those like 2 days of Guna or 4 days of Guna. You can go a weekend, and it's like off season. It's like $300, like to go and come back, and so it's really easy to go. And then once you get that, you can come to Lebanon, and you can start enjoying yourself at La Guava a little bit, and then Tripoli, and then if you're good enough, you can go to Batroun and enjoy it with the guys over there.
What kind of precautions do you take vis-a-vis safety, or with the long lines and the kite surfing in the summer with all these jet skis as well? I mean, what do you do, or what can you do? I mean, you have the wind. Usually when you guys are out, there's wind. So by default, when there's wind, we don't have half the mess in the sea. But what do you do regarding safety?
I mean, for beginners, listen to your instructors really well. I mean, that's the best tip you could give to beginners. For beginners who know a little bit, intermediates if you want to say, and they're going to new spots to basically ask if there's any rocks on the water, if there's anything they need to be careful, any currents, anything. I mean, ask someone that is local, especially if you're going to a spot that you've never windsurfed before. Ask around. I mean, if there's no windsurfers, ask surfers if there's anything in the water to be careful. Sometimes there's a particular kind of fish that if you step on it, it might give you. I mean, that's one of the things in Peru that, like, when there is sand, don't step in this.
Didn't tell me.
Yeah, and this is the difference between the kite surfing. It's relatively safe, specifically when you're learning, because you're not gonna go in the first months to very high
Or
speeds and know it
30
yourself.
years after this
Yeah.
TAQATALK.
So the only tip when you're starting at the beginning, like ask this question, and also always tell when you're in the water. Tell someone that I went from this spot, and they would know where you ended up because you're gonna end up downwind. So they know that you're out. They know you didn't come back, so they're gonna look for you this side.
I would
Yeah.
like to ask Vanessa, seeing that she's next to me, a question. Vanessa, having a partner like Jad that is so passionate about water sports, do you want the same thing for your children? This is something that you would love. So
Yeah,
it is
of
very addictive and contagious, and it becomes like a family lifestyle.
No, but also any kid that is into sports is gonna have a great, healthy life.
Right. And this is something. I mean, I wouldn't blame the parents also, and I wouldn't blame the
Yeah.
people. I mean, it's
The lifestyle,
it's
it's
very
the
hard.
culture.
No, it's not even the culture.
It's the
I mean, it's
culture.
very hard looking at
Money.
the cost, at
Also.
the access to the beaches. I
Ah.
mean, it's not accessible. It's not accessible as anywhere else in the world. We can just like go from here to the sea that you see in front of you. I mean, here, I mean, you cannot actually see it. So it's really difficult for yeah.
No, that's an excuse. That's an excuse. I'd like to say that we have a kitesurf shop in Lebanon. It's a beautiful kitesurf shop, by the way. So as soon as you have a level, you can go. True, it's not that cheap, but you can buy used gear and you can get into it for less than $1,000, and then it's your gear for the next 5 years.
But I agree with you, but I'm not talking about, I mean, we're talking about a selection of the people, you know, like that are able to
True.
afford, able to buy, able to,
And able to
skiing
beach.
is much more expensive than
you have,
Yes, but for Lebanon, it's still something expensive. And compare the salary to what you
all
can
in
get.
all,
Cheaper
all
than
in all, the
skiing.
mentality and the culture of sports is increasing.
yeah.
And I think we're going to slowly see more children interested in just adventure sports. You know, the whole idea of just always eating and going out and drinking.
Well, my son is going
I
against
think
that.
There's going to have
So I
there's
hope
going
it's,
to be a shift, and there's going to be a little bit more equilibrium because also people are becoming
Yes,
more
yeah.
conscious. I
Yeah.
think people also want more. I see more adults physically
Yeah,
active.
true.
I see people more. The running community has exploded in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Many thanks to what happened with the Beirut Marathon and how much they've done groundwork. So things are changing, and I see it like, and it's beautiful what I've seen. Yeah. There's
For water
change
sports,
happening
I think you need to have something like Colonel Reed.
to
Like,
help
people don't know
it.
how to start and where to start. It's different. It's not like running and jogging.
Yeah.
And thanks to social media, by the way.
So
Yeah.
if you
Which
can
is showing
create 3
them
Colonel
now,
Reefs along the
before they were
coast,
there,
you will
we can
attract
see
so many people. And people and families and children that they would love to do something new and do water sports. You know?
And they don't know what
It's not easy always to go like to Buna or to
Yeah.
travel.
to Ava or to go to Colonel, put in the car and get, you know, you don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah, I think it's right. The more access you have, the more you're making it open for people to try.
Yeah,
This is,
North Maria is not, they don't have anything for water sport, just the beach resort, you know.
And I have to say that Batroun always, since the 60s, has been
the water
the
sport,
water sports
Yeah.
town. This is where like most of the water sports we
Since like
Yeah,
one of the first people who
forever.
sailed out in the Mediterranean. They're from the area of Batroun and Gypros.
Many locals practice windsurfing.
yeah.
So there's one project also that is happening soon, and the windsurfer that I saw when I started windsurfing, George, he's gonna attempt to cross from Cyprus to Batroun. I'm gonna be also there with him,
Okay.
and
This is gonna be a good promotion.
it's gonna be in July. And it's gonna be a really good promotion for
July
windsurfing.
when?
In July, between the July 15th and the 25th.
Okay.
So during this time, I mean, we kept a window of 10 days to see what is the best day to cross, and
And you're wanting to cross it in one day.
windsurfing in one day. Try
In
to
one
cross
day.
it all in one day.
Guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming to TAQATALK. The next TAQATALK will be in July, the third Thursday of July, which I don't know. It's with Shada Nasser, who's a 13, maybe you've heard of her. She's the 13-time championship champion in basketball.
Basketball.
And she has done a lot of work for middle school girls in basketball. So she funds the middle school championships around schools, and she's coming in July to give a TAQATALK here.
But she plays basketball where? In
Shada Nasser, she's on the Arab League. So now she coaches the Arab League. Okay, so she's quite a phenomenal Lebanese woman that has done a lot of work on the basketball terrain for women, especially for girls, especially. And so you're welcome to come to that if that's of interest. And thank you very much for coming.